The Irish interpretation of the public house, or pub, has had phenomenal popularity throughout the world. From Toronto to Tokyo, the Irish pub has been an important instrument of Irish cultural identity.
If I were them, I had a choice between a pub and a church, I'd go to a pub.
From barflies in gin joints to beautiful people in exclusive nightclubs, to the owners and the staff that witness it all, every bar has a life, and every life has a story. This is the story of Dora Keogh, an Irish pub carefully crafted by its owners in an attempt to recreate a piece of home. This pub is both a labor of love and a testament to their proud heritage.
You know, I was born in Ireland. I grew up in Ireland. I came over here late in life. So my heart is in Ireland, right? My heart is in the tradition that I belong to. But, you know, I found part of that tradition here too.
Music was what brought the three of us together.
Yep.
That Dahi was the leader of a magnificent band called Tip Splinter, whom I wished to present.
Our vision is the same, and we are all very, very proud of what goes on here.
For Dahi Connaughton, music at Dora Keogh is almost sacred. It's much more than a mere accompaniment to beer and conversation.
One of the things about tradition to me is, you know, when I was a youngster growing up, I used to go into this bar called the Four Seasons in Dublin. You know the story about that handshake?
No.
Well, John Kelly's father stopped me in the middle of a session one night in the Four Seasons at Capel Street, and he says, "Put out your hand." "Well, what's that all about?" And he said, "Well, shake it." So I shook his hand. And he says, "Now, you just shook a hand of a musician who shook a musician's hand way back in the famine." So I'm passing that handshake on to you now today, bye.
Fair enough, sir.
That's three down. It was like not even two generations away. It was two people away. And to me, that's what the tradition is about. It's a handing down from one generation to the next.
You know, there's a real responsibility with that as well, is that you try to pass on the knowledge that you've garnered from the generation that came before you.
People like Deb Quigley and Dahi are keeping alive the tradition. So it's very special here. It's not like anywhere else.
Pure Irish traditions are the backbone of Dora Keogh. But on St. Patrick's Day, when notions of Irishness run the gamut from the sublime to the ridiculous, the owners must bear the onslaught of those fun-loving plastic patties.
If you go to a bar in America, you get served green beer and fellas going around in green hats and leprechauns. And quite frankly, I have nothing to do with that. You know, that's totally way off kilter for me. It's nothing to do with the tradition that I was growing up in. And it's, you know, it's sort of a bit paddy-whackery for me too. It just doesn't sit rightly on my shoulders.
The celebration of St. Patrick's, to me, is a celebration of the patron saint of Ireland. It is not a university student worldwide drinking festival.
Leprechauns, definitely. There's leprechauns. And they have that cereal, Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if that's an emotion for someone, if that's their way of expressing it, to wear plastic hats and neon noses or whatever it is, drink green beer, that's fine. I think visually you don't really have to do that. It comes from within.
We just like any excuse to party. We don't usually come out Sunday at noon. We don't discriminate.
We have 364 days a year which aren't St. Patrick's Day, and we lead each and every one of them as though we were practicing for the real thing.
Exactly.
That's all. St. Patrick's Day is the culmination of all the work, all the training, everything you do to get ready for that day.
And people make a really big effort over here. In relation to literally just coming out in their colours and that, people, I notice a big difference from home. Like, people are you're a lot more proud when you're away from home of being Irish and having your Irish connections, and it's great. It's nice to have an identity in a foreign country for a day.
In the spirit of celebration, people come to the pub en masse. Why is it that everyone wants to be Irish for the day?
They want to have the gift of conversation. They want to have the gift of theatre. They want to have the gift of poetry, art, and song.
You know what? The most thing that I really enjoy about a session of music when you're there is telling you to shut up. Yeah. Terry Maguire, shut up. I really enjoy that.
The problem, of course, with musicians like you and most of your friends is that because you're incapable of actually capturing the attention of people through your musical abilities, you feel you actually have to tell them to shut up.
Can we have loads of hush? Can we have a big, huge Dora Keogh's quiet for Jonathan Lynn, who's going to give us what we call a resuscitation in Ireland.
Forgive the digression, but you see, we got told in confession that sex was bad, but in applying it, we used our discretion and made a concession and continued to have sex, just stopped enjoying it. So we'd screw our eyes tight and postpone the delight, or the crack and the fun and the laughter heard as we took less pleasure from sex than from what followed next.
That's why everyone wants to be Irish.
We don't want you Irish a single day of the year, but you know, St. Paddy's Day we put up with you for a day, and that's why we drink so much that day, so we can actually bear it. But other than that, we're fine, you know?
Because an Irish pub doesn't have to have Irish people in it, believe it or believe it not.
No, shit, no, I'm from Prince Edward Island. We'll take any legion, any moment, any time.
You notice he's Canadian. He's not Irish at all.
How do we get through security?